Two of the most popular steelhead egg flies are the crystal meth and the sucker spawn. Today, I'm going to show you how to tie a combination fly for those things. I call it the ribbon candy crystal meth, and you'll see why. And if you hang in there on this video, I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that'll make tying this fly and any fly like it a lot easier. So the first thing you need to do is put down a piece of thread. I'm using a TMCO 105 in a size 10. You can use whatever hook you want. Cut off your excess. I have a bead on there. You don't have to use the bead, but for this pattern, I personally like a bead. This is your typical egg yarn that you would use to tie. It's this stuff, the normal egg yarn. So you can see it has somewhat of a bias, like it's twisted. So just kind of untwist it a little bit, because we don't need the whole width. I don't need a tiny little bit of it, honestly. If you use a lot, your fly becomes really fat, so you can do that. It's a choice. But for me, for this fly, I like to keep it kind of on the skinny side. Okay, so I got it like that. So now what I'm going to do, leave about a ½ inch of yarn. Right down at the end, I'm going to make a tight loop. Pull on the up so it doesn't suck the stuff under. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to pull this up so that it's plainly on the top side of the hook. Make sense? And then you need to get in front of it. Pull those up. Make just a little ways in front. And leave it like that. Now you're going to need your diamond braid. This stuff right here, maybe it goes by other names too. I don't know. Cut off a piece of that. Yay big. Whatever that is. Find your middle. And then you're going to put that loop around this tag end of this egg yarn. Like that. See? Pull it down here. And hold that. Like that. Then you're going to make some wraps. So if you notice, I'm wrapping in front of it because I put my thread in front of the tie-in point. I'll make 3 wraps. And I'll lift it up and right up against the egg yarn make 2 wraps just to tie it a little bit and tug on it. You also need to make sure that your spool has a lot of tension. Anytime you try a crystal meth or any other egg pattern, you want a lot of tension on the spool so that it ties tight. A loose egg is not a good egg. Use the tip of your scissors to cut that close. Now, if you look at what I have here, you can see I have it tied in back here, and then I put the diamond braid on, and I tied in again. So I'm sort of trapping it. This is not actually tied in. This is one of the tricks I wanted to show you. See that? It's not actually tied in. The reason I don't actually tie it in is you don't want a ton of extra material at the end of your fly. If you tie in this much material, all of it at once, you're going to have this big fat knot. That makes an unattractive fly. Maybe the fish don't know the difference, but I do, and I like to tie attractive flies. So your next step is you need to make a loop. This is trick number 2. Grab all 3 of these, pull them back. So you can see what I'm doing. Like this. Using this bodkin, you can get an exact size for the loop that you want. Plus, you can guarantee that all 3 pieces of material are making the same size loop. Without using your bodkin, that would be somewhat of a struggle. So this is a tiny hook, and I'm only going to make 3 loops, so I'm going to start with a fairly good sized loop back here. I'm going to make 3 wraps. Pull it snug, wrap in front of it a little ways, just like create a little bit of distance. Then we're going to repeat the pattern. Making sure that the diamond braid stays off to the side. So now that I have this in here, I can go, all right, well, I want this second loop to be a little bit bigger than the first one. So you do that by pulling it out to slightly beyond where the other one was. You can be very precise with your loop size. If you're just doing this with your fingers, which you may have tried, sometimes it's pretty inconsistent. Making 3 loops again, pick it up, wrap a little in front, and make your final loop. I'm only doing 3 because it's such a small hook. You can choose to make this third one a little higher, or sometimes if you're doing 4 or 5 loops, people like to make that front one shorter, which is also cool. I don't know if the fish know the difference, but part of the reason we tie is to please ourselves, not just the fish. So now what you need to do is, after you get that wrapped in, pull this material back, make some wraps right in front of the bead. And because we've done so much wrapping, we need to spin this counterclockwise, but only if you wrap in the same direction as I do, this way. That gets the twist out of the line before you tie your knot. We're almost done. When I cut this much material, you don't want to grab it all at once and cut it, because you'll have too much excess. It doesn't cut evenly. So I just cut it in little pieces. Right? I'm going to cut this pearl core first, or the, not pearl core, the diamond braid first. Cut this one off, get real tight down in there using the tip of your scissors. And then same thing here, pull this up, get real tight. There you go. So now you have almost no waste showing. Look at that fly. Perfect combination of crystal meth and a sucker spawn. And it really does look like ribbon candy, you have to admit. Maybe you're not old enough to have had ribbon candy, so just take my word for it. Then what you need to do is glue it down. It's really a good idea to use the bodkin for applying glue, because this allows you to put the glue right where you want it without soaking it into your fly. So I could rub some back here like this, right? You'd be hard pressed to apply that glue with any other tool and get it just where you want it. And there's that fly. So you can tie this in an unbelievable number of color combinations. Here's a white and orange. Here's a blue and green. I really like this one when there's a little bit of stain in the water. Here's a purple and blue. Some people really love purple. Here's a little orange on orange versus the orange on peach. And here's a spent egg color yellow. So this peach and this yellow are both spent egg type colors. So here's one with pink and spent egg versus orange and spent egg. You can even do this. You can tie your Michigan ribbon candy fly and your Buckeye ribbon candy fly. Fish them tandem, see which one wins. Okay, there you have it. The perfect combination of crystal meth and sucker spawn. Thanks for watching.